Welcome to selfdiscoverymedia.com, where we discover the communities that are making a difference in the lives of others. Our self-discovery is something we are all making on our life's journey. Here you will find the people that will be your guidance, that will be your inspiration, that will be there for you in support on your journey of life. Do enjoy. Our next show is... Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Sarah's View of Life, right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy. Intention. It's a word that has an awful lot of impact and an awful lot of question marks behind it. What is our intention in our lives? What do we want to achieve? Whom do we want to serve? How do we go about doing it? What is our intention on how we interact with life, whom we interact with, what we do? Our intention is something that we need to ask ourselves. Why are we doing it? What are we hoping to gain? Whom do we wish to serve? I'm at that little point at the present moment where, as I said in my last week, of having to prioritize and look at restructuring my time schedule in order to fit everything in that I need to fit in. I can't keep putting things on the back burner, waiting for the perfect time. I have to create the perfect time. I have to be intentional about what I want to achieve. So I'm at that intention spot at the present moment and looking at how to compartmentalize the sections that I need to address. I normally, from Monday to Friday, do 1 to 2 shows every day. And then there's the editing around it and all the, of course, admin and emails and everything else that I do and connecting with people and having chats with them. It's a full week. I'm going to have to kind of cut that back. I'm going to cut that back to 3 days a week where I actually do the shows. And I'm going to look at 2 days of being with my grandson and my daughter because that's a priority. And I'm going to look at taking at least 1 day a week of compiling my book. And that is going to be an audio as well as a regular book. And I'm going to take a great deal from what I've already done at Sarah's View of Life, as there's 330 chapters there, 30 something chapters. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. As wonderful Bella Carter that we had on last week, who's written a book and it shows people how to write books and put them together and the priorities and you know how we can make it easier on ourselves. And I think one of the reasons what was holding me back, I was looking at it being complicated. And when you have the right strategy, it makes it easier to take the right steps forward. Again, what's your intention? What's my intention with writing a book? Apart from everybody asking me to write the book, the intention, I guess, is to share my journey, to share everything that I've learned in the last 9 years of podcasting, all the wonderful people that I've met, but also to share the pockets of wisdoms that I've learned along the way through interviewing people, through taking my journey in life. And it will serve all those that are ready to be served by it, all those that are wanting to be a part of it. But it's for me to put it out there, right? One has to step up. So the intention is there. Plus the other book that we're doing under selfdiscoverycommunity.org, which is our Forgotten Children series, of compiling that together of all the wonderful people contributing their chapters. I have a lot on my plate. And the intention is to get it all out there for Christmas. So that means one has to prioritize. That means one has to really look at one's life and go, okay, what am I willing to give up or restructure? And we've also got to remember not to lose ourselves in that. You know, you give this amount of time to this and this amount of time to that, but where's the amount of time for yourself? And I'm going to take at least 1 day at the weekend that is for me, out into the beautiful sunshine, enjoying the lovely summer weather and really regrouping and rejuvenating myself. So what's your intent in life? You know, what are your intentions? And what are you wanting to achieve? How are you wanting to achieve it? Whom do you want it to have an effect on? Because we've all driven by intentions. Even if we lash out at people, there's an intention behind that. Is it an intention because we feel wounded? Is it intention to hurt someone? Is it intention to bring someone down, to push ourselves up? Is it an intention to propel somebody forward? That's the accountability side of intentions, of being accountable, of whatever your intent is, whom does it serve? Is it something that benefits everyone? Is it an ego-driven thing? Or is it something that you really want to do because you know that it's going to make a difference in the lives of others? We see people putting other people down in order to boost themselves up. And that is a sign of a lack of self-worth. People who are not in tune with their own hearts and souls. People that are a little lost, maybe unwilling to do the work in order to step up and really embrace their own beautiful instrument. The intention there is by making other people feel bad, they think they're going to make themselves feel good. And that intention is always going to backfire because you will never find happiness at the expense of hurting someone else. It's just not in the math. It's not in the vibrational equation. But if your intention is to open up someone else's heart, propel someone's heart, or coming from your heart and making that difference, then that attention will always have a good vibration to it, and it will always reach out to other people in a very good and positive way. I have a little bit of problem with time management because I'm inclined to pour all my time into one thing, and the next thing you know, oh gosh, I don't have time left to do this or do that. I also have so much energy in my body, which I've talked about before with my condition, that I have X amount of energy and it's not always abundant. So it is realizing that I also can't over push myself. I can't overextend myself. And we see people with good intentions. Yes, I will do that. No, put me down for that. Oh, I'm going to do that. And then they don't follow through because what they don't realize is how much work is involved in it and how they really can't do it with their schedule, or they can't do it to that degree. Maybe they can do a part of it, but not all of it. And the intentions were good, but they're just not able to deliver. So if we say we're going to step up and help somebody do something, let us really look at, can we? Time-wise, ability-wise, is it going to cost you too much on all the other things going on in your life? Can you help in any other different way? Because there's always different ways of doing things. But if you say you're going to do something, also clarify how and what you're going to do and exactly how much it's going to be in the contribution. We don't want people feeling let down. We also don't want to feel guilty because we couldn't deliver. So your intentions are good. Yes, thank you, bless you. But really analyze what it is you can give gracefully that isn't going to be putting too much pressure on you, and that's really going to be able to deliver. If you overgive, and if you find you have more to give, hallelujah. But at least you're not letting people down. You've said you're going to do X, Y, and Z, and you can deliver on the X, Y, Z. If you can only deliver on the X, then say that. That's okay. Right? And as people, as the expectations, oh, you can't deliver X, Y, and Z, forget it. No. We'll take X from somebody, Y from somebody, Z from someone. It's collaboration, folks. And everybody put in what they can put in, and all of a sudden you've got a feast of options there, which is absolutely wonderful. Also, our intentions for our lives very often could be partnered with expectations. I intend to achieve this. I intend to do that. I intend to reach that goal. And these are a part of our expectation of what we want to achieve. What we have to be careful of is that it doesn't become a dictation, because then you're not allowing the universe to guide you into what you're really meant to be doing or how you're meant to be doing it. But we've also got to be careful that it's not also in comparison. We've also got to ask ourselves, well, if I want to achieve that, why do I want to achieve it? I intend to be the best of this. Why? Can you not just put your best foot forward and say, I intend to bring my best foot forward in my best light? Why does it have to be competitive, the best of? Because your best may may communicate with a certain group of people, but not with others. All we can do is put our best foot forward. All we can do is be the best we can be. All we can do is offer the best of ourselves. Don't compare, don't compete. Then you're not going to let yourself down, and you're not going to let other people down. It isn't about who is the number one bestseller, who's got the best podcast, who's got the best book, who's got the best this and that. It's not about that. It's about, I've brought my best to the table. This is the best of me at this moment. Because tomorrow there might be even something better about you. As we learn, as we experience, as we participate in life, we gather more knowledge, more wisdom, and we start feeling really wonderful about what we've learned. And in that wonderful wisdom and knowledge, we apply it to everything else that we do. So what's your best today could be even better tomorrow, purely by the experience and the knowledge that you've learned. Anybody who's listened to my shows knows I don't like competitiveness and comparison, because I have seen far too much let down in people's lives and damnation of other people because of it. When you compare yourself to another, you are immediately setting yourself up to feel let down. This person's so much more than me, or I'm so much more than them. It is a sign of that insecurity in yourself. It's a sign of a lack of self-worth. When you can step up and say, I, like me, I, Sarah Troy, I'm enough in what I do, and I bring all of me to the table. And if it's enough for you, great. And if it isn't, there are others out there that can fill that cup of yours. No malice, no anything. I am what I am. I do what I do, and I hope that it serves you. And if it doesn't, that's okay. Because we're not here to serve everybody in our light. Our light is for the people who see that particular frequency of light and are willing to open up to that light's knowledge. So I'm not competitive, and I'm not in comparison. Although sometimes we do compare, people say, you sound like, or so-and-so said that. That's okay, because it just means that you're part of a tribe. You're part of that particular vibe and on the same wavelength, the same frequency. But when we start comparing, this person's better than you because we are demeaning to that person, we're belittling to that person, and we're also not seeing that person for who they really are. We cannot compare each person's gift. It's what does that gift do for society? And the measure of that gift is in the impact that it has, not in monetary results. One person can stand up and talk to 10 people and turn their complete lights on. Another person can stand up and talk to 10,000 people and turn their light bulb on. It's all a matter of frequency and where our frequency is, and in our delivery and in our intent. It doesn't matter about the numbers. If it's one person at a time, great. If it's 1,000 people, fantastic. But we've also got to look at when it's the 1,000, the 10,000, are people caught up in that frequency of good vibrations, but they're not truly listening? Sometimes that smaller number, more intimate people are more likely to truly be engaged and really hear. But whichever way turns you on, whether it's the small intimacy or whether it's the big crowds, as long as the intent is to go to learn something about you, about others, another skill, another tool, another inspiration that can help you move forward in your own life. The intent. I'm hoping and intending that all of these shows that we do here, especially over the last 8 years, and hopefully that I intend to be around for another 8 or more, keep bringing you some exceptional people, ordinary people doing exceptional things, learning from them, their skills, their courage, their strength, their abilities, their wisdom. And I intend to keep doing it for as long as I can, for as long as everything is in alignment. I'm not getting any younger, But I've interviewed people that 88 with still her own TV show, The Pink Lady, and I hope very much that I could be as exuberant as she is at that time. Not to compare, but to compare that's the goal. I would love to still be there at 88, still doing what I love, still bringing you wonderful people and having a network of other awesome hosts and guests that are going to still light up your light. But if I'm not your cup of tea, there is somebody else out there. My intention is to keep bringing this wisdom to you. What you do with that wisdom is completely on you. So have a question, look at your intention. Why am I doing this? Is it for the ego? Is it for the glory? Is it for the fame? Is it because I want to one-up somebody? Have a look at that and go, okay, is that intention truly going to be serving me or serving anyone else? Where is this coming from? What is the need for the ego to step in? And have a good conversation with yourself in the mirror and look at, don't persecute yourself, don't punish yourself, but recognize there is something that needs to be addressed and something that needs to be resolved. And the intention to resolve it for yourself so that you can step into your own beautiful light and shine bright for others is the best intention of all. So this is my show for this week. On Sarah's View of Life, there's 334 other shows of my perspective every week, plus, of course, 2,700 shows right here at Self-Discovery Media of all the wonderful people I've got to interview who have gracefully shared their wisdom. I hope that this wisdom is something that feeds you, that opens you up, that inspires you. I hope that it gives you answers that you were seeking, or just simply lifts you up into joy, opens your heart, your soul, and your spirit. How it is for you is your journey, but we keep putting them out for you to be part of your own self-discovery. So this is it for this week. Intentions, what are yours? And I will keep navigating my intentions and looking at how to actually prioritize them. It's not my strength. It's not, time management is not my strength. To be able to strategize and put everything in its proper compartments so that I can get everything done is not my strength. I am going to have to diligently work on it. But how wonderful people share ways and means of doing something that takes the pressure off and makes it easier for me, then it's like less daunting. So there's less excuses and there's more intention to get going with it. So I know why I want to do that. I know why I want those books out there and why I keep doing what I'm doing. And the intention is to lift everybody up into their own wonderment, their own self-discovery. But now I've got to step up and actually implement those things that I really want to do, that I intend to do, and get them going with no more excuses. So I'm going to do that. If I'm a little wobbly on my feet, please send me some strength and balance. But I'm going to do it because that's my intention. So have a wonderful week, folks. And until next time, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. You will hear many, many shows here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. We have new shows for you out every week. Just find them on our podcast or What's New. If you feel that you have something to share that makes a difference in the lives of others, or you too feel that you could be a host, please contact me at info@selfdiscoverymedia.com and we will be glad to speak with you. Have a wonderful day.